Be specific and see yourself as high as you possibly can, right? That's your first job, is to see it as high as you can see it. Be delusional even, to the point where to where your mind, right at the apex of what your mind believes is possible, maybe push past that even a little bit and define it. And then number two is like, believe it. You know what I mean? Like see it all the time and believe it, and whatever you gotta do to protect that belief. My version of protecting that belief was I wasn't sharing this.
Yeah,
I wasn't telling my mom. She knew I rapped. She knew I did music, and to her it was
like,
like,
somebody knock you off.
I'm not even gonna give my own mother the chance to try to bring me back down to reality. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, not gonna happen. So number one, dream as high as you possibly can. See yourself, not even dream. See yourself as high as you possibly can. Define that. Don't just say I want to do such and such. Because if you mess around and get such and such, you're gonna be mad that you didn't think about higher. There's a lot of people that do that. They're like, man, why didn't I think about being this instead of just this? Because at the time you thought just this was it. But do the thought work and see where you really want to be. Two, believe that it's possible and protect that belief. And then three is work towards it. You have to do the work, and because you love it, it's not always gonna feel like work, but sometimes it is.
When you're in all the muck and you're just walking in muck and walking in muck and walking in muck, you don't see that if you look off to the fucking left of the muck, there's a sidewalk, brother. Get off of it. You have your head down looking in this muck. Once I saw the sidewalk, got the sidewalk, I got a little break. And I got a different vantage point. And then from the sidewalk, I found a cliff. Then I found a mountain. I got way up high on top of my life and looked back down on it and said, okay, I gotta figure this out, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm starting to lie. So when you have a messed up foundation, I started lying about everything. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be accepted in some society of life, some social society. And I was like, man, this isn't the right way. I messed up here, I messed up here, I messed up everywhere. And so I realized the worst thing that happened to me is I lost myself. I never had myself, I never found myself. I had no self-esteem. So I knew through working out and through learning, because it took a lot for me to learn also, I started finding self-esteem. Once I found that, that's when doors started opening up. I stopped caring about people, that what they thought, being judged. Wow, if I say this, if I started right now, are you gonna make fun of me? I stopped caring about that. And that's when my life started really changing for me, slowly but surely. People always say, my God, like, no, don't look at it like, I didn't care about losing weight. I didn't care about being the fastest person. I wasn't making the Olympics. I wasn't going to pros. I could barely read and write when I was in a junior in high school. I wasn't going anywhere. I saw working out as a way for me to build calluses on my mind. I had to callous over the victim's mentality. So I watched these movies. I talked about Rocky last time I was on here. I always equated training to mental toughening. Like, it always looked brutal. People waking up early and doing all these things, and it looked horrible. I was like, wow, man, I gotta start doing that. Not to get better, bigger, and stronger, but that is what's gonna build me. That looks uncomfortable. That looks brutal. And getting up early, I don't wanna do that. So I made this long list of things I don't wanna do. And through that, I found myself. I started, I'm like, you guys aren't doing this shit in high school. You guys aren't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, running over here in this golf course. So I started seeing myself very differently than the average human being. I was like, hold on a second. I have something they don't have. And that's when I started to develop these things through working out. It was this great, never-ending work ethic. And through work ethic, I developed self-esteem.
Imagine if you could harness some of that energy and that work ethic and that ability to just keep going no matter what. Work ethic alone is not enough, that you could just kill yourself by grinding. As Tim Grover says so eloquently, what happens if you take anything and you just keep grinding it and grinding it and grinding it? It turns into powder, right? Well, then if you know that anything that you grind over and over again is going to turn into powder, that might be you. When you operate from this place where like your back is against the wall, you could do amazing things. You don't have to have your back against the wall. You really don't. You can just put yourself mentally there, right? And I'll give you a great example of this. And this might be a really dark thing. And Ed and Leighton, I don't know if you guys have done this or not, but you guys both have kids. And so maybe you can relate to this. But when I would do a heavy set of squats or a heavy set of deadlifts or something, whatever this heavy set is going to be. And I'm like, all right, man, I need to do like 5 reps, 5 clean reps here, no matter what. I would have this little conversation in my head as I'm wrapping my knees. I always start with my left knee first and then my right knee. And then I, get under that, cinch up my belt, get under the bar, get a perfect grip, elbows down, and then unrack the bar, step back, and I'm gonna do my 5 reps. Well, in my head, what I would say to myself is that and this is even before I had any kids, before I was married, and I do it today, that I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna make it look easy. These 5 reps are gonna be super clean, and if I don't, then my future kids are gonna get kidnapped, then my future kids might get, and I know that's a dark way to look at it, but I put my back against the wall metaphorically, and I would make it look easy. I would make that weight look easy. I would move it easily, and I would do 5 reps, and I'd be like, shit, I could probably do 6 or 7 still. And that mindset is still the mindset that I use. Like, I literally wake up every day and I just think to myself, this game that I play, that someone somewhere in a basement has this marker board that says how, at the very top of their marker board, it says how to put Bedros Keuilian out of business for good, right? So I'm thinking there's like someone out there, this evildoer who wants to put me out of business. Someone wakes up with this intent to put me out of fucking business, and I go to battle every single day with that mindset. And when I go to battle with that mindset that someone is trying to put me out of business, even though I'm fucking wealthy and have properties and a ranch and cars and fly private and do all these fuck things that I do, I still operate with that immigrant edge mentality. And so I'm asking you, what is it going to take for you to operate from that place? You don't have to go to another country broke and start in a Section 8 housing complex to put your back against the wall. You could literally play that game like I just gave you 2 great examples, one in the gym and one in business. And when you play that game with yourself and you're like, this, I get myself all worked up. I get myself so worked up that someone's trying to put me out of business. And you must operate like your back is against the wall, the immigrant mentality. And the way you do that is by having that no choice, to feel like you have no choice but to have this high level of work ethic, right? And then to feel like you're running late. So many of you give yourself too much credit. You let yourself off the hook by saying, I still have time. I need to have some balance. I can figure it out over time. I don't need to be in a rush. No, be in a rush. Like set more pressure on yourself. Like, feel like you're running late to the party. Feel like you're the last one. You're that third monkey that's going to make it onto Noah's Ark. Like, you need to fight like you're that third monkey that's going to make it onto Noah's Ark. And if you're like, what's he talking about? Remember, Noah was like taking 2 animals at a time, a male and a female. So if there's a third monkey coming on board, Noah's going to be like, get the fuck off. That monkey's going to bite Noah's face and get on that ark and like start reproducing. Like, if you are willing to fight like that, like that you are running late, that you have no choice, your back is against the wall, you will always succeed in any endeavor. That is the immigrant mentality. I'm trying to show you how we made it. How we made it in the country where we didn't understand the language, we didn't understand the culture, we were broke, we were poor, we were constantly told to go back to your own.
Somebody with a strong work ethic is predictable every day. Every day. What is predictable? You show up at 8, you leave at midnight. You show up at 8, you leave at 8. You show up at 7, you leave at 9. You show up at 7, you leave at 10. I don't know, but it's predictable. And you do it every day. It doesn't matter what it is. There's a predictable work effort being put by you. A lot of people will come and say, Pat, man, one day I want to be a millionaire, but you know what, I got, for me, it didn't kind of work out. I did a conference call, and this conference call was with a group of 40 entrepreneurs, builders that are doing a very, very good job in our firm. And I put them on the call, and one of the guys on the conference call asked somebody a question about momentum. And what can I do to do this and this and this and that? I said, listen, those who steadily grow their business show up every single day without any disruptions, because every time you disrupt and you have a crisis, to you it's a crisis, to somebody else it may be a crisis, but they don't handle it as big of a weight as you do. Your momentum goes all the way back down to level number 1 again. And you have to recreate momentum. It's a pain in the butt. If you truly want to have steady growth in your business, you got to be predictable, because the moment you stop, you lose all your momentum. So if you really, really want to expand your business, the purpose of you growing is a big purpose that you have, whatever that purpose is, you got to be predictable. And throughout the time you're predictable, you got to accept and anticipate crisis is going to happen. What's crisis? A breakup with a girlfriend cannot throw you off for 2 months, because then you're not predictable. Kid gets in trouble in school, cannot throw you off for 3 weeks, because then you're not predictable. You and your wife get into a terrible fight, cannot throw you off, because then you're not predictable. You have a certain financial challenge, cannot throw you off, because you're not predictable. You have somebody in your family that talks smack about you, cannot stop, because you're no longer predictable. By the way, the person that makes it also had all those crises happen, but they stayed predictable. Part of big work ethic is predictability. Number 2, consistency. Same thing. You show up, but consistency. And you keep showing up and you keep doing your work.